Hey everyone, I'm Army Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Team Shop update video. Hopefully you guys saw my last Team Shop update video where I recommended that you guys just save your coins because I knew there was going to be a frat event, and whenever they release a frat event, especially when they give war coins out, they always update the Team Shop. They bring back all the old generals, all the old monsters, the old bodyguards, the old pets, and they did that. So hopefully you listened. And let's get right into this Team Shop analysis. So we have Uriel's bodyguard, General Thetis, General Uriel, Thetis' pet, Uriel's pet, blah blah blah. I already talked about all those monsters, so let's see what's new in the Team Shop. And for that we need to scroll over here to General Ingvar. General Ingvar is available for 2.5k coins. If you're deciding between General Ingvar and General Thetis, it's a really tough call. Personally, I love both of those monsters. I love Thetis, I love Ingvar, but I think I would have to recommend General Ingvar. I just feel that his supportive skills are a lot more useful, especially in the current state of the game, where we have relics that can do what General Thetis does. We have relics that can counter General Thetis, and just about any player, whether you're free to play, whether you're a casual spender, pay to win, just about any player can get their hands on those relics to counter General Thetis. So she's not that much of a threat. Now once again, I'm not saying she's not good anymore. She's still really great, especially if you have her ranked up, especially if you have the speed advantage. But still, I feel like her usability has decreased significantly. Whereas General Ingvar, definitely still usable, definitely still really great. AoE blind, AoE daze, single stun, can make the enemy weak to special attacks, removes negative effects from your team, can give your team life regeneration, stamina regeneration in one skill. He's a phenomenal monster. He's in the Winged book, the Good Legions book, and the Team Wars book, and I think he's always going to be a phenomenal monster. But for 2.5k coins, that is a little expensive. I imagine for most players, especially the new players, that could take you like a month to 2 months to get. And do you really want to spend like 2 months to get one legendary monster? I don't know, especially considering they release so many mazes, so many events, so many progressive islands, that by the time you get one General Ingvar, you probably already have your hands on like 10 legendary monsters. So again, the choice is ultimately up to you. It depends on what you need. Every single individual is different, but he's definitely a great monster. Then we have General Shinaura for 1.8k coins. Personally, I think that's a lot of coins for her. I don't think she's that great, but that's just my personal opinion. She has a lot of single target hits that apply DLTs. Again, I'm not too much of a fan of her. But then we have General Atum, who's another great phenomenal monster. And for 2.5k coins, oh my gosh, it's again like, do I get General Atum? Do I get Thetis? Do I get Ingvar? He's really great too. He has a skill that gives him double damage and reflects all enemy attacks back at him. He has a skill that gives him double life and he reflects any damage he receives. He has a skill that gives your whole team a double life shield, and that skill is just beyond incredible. It has saved me so many times. And in terms of putting this monster on defense, there are so many times when that's the first skill General Atum does, because in the elite level, I've seen General Atum with 3 speedruns, and so because I have like level 115 monsters and they have 130 monsters, he goes first, he puts that double life shield, and then I can't use my Sammy Barat combo to kill one of the enemy monsters, to kill the attacker, and then I get wrecked. So he's a great monster. He also has an AoE stun. Oh my gosh, it really depends on what you need. There's General Holter for 1.8k coins. I don't think he's worth it at that price. We have General Nishin also for 2.5k coins. And when you have Atum, Ingvar, and Thetis to choose from, I don't think Nishin is worth it. We have Darmith for 2.25k coins, so slightly less than Nishin, Thetis, Atum, and Ingvar. And for that amount of coins, I don't think he's worth it either. Same for General Alces, and let me just say, I absolutely love General Alces. When you look at the nature category, there aren't that many great monsters. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry, nature element, it's just the way it is. And so I think General Alces truly shines, and I think he's a monster everyone should have. But unfortunately for his cost, again, that's probably going to take most players from anywhere from 1 to 2 months to get. And I can't say it's really worth it when it takes you that long just to get your hands on one monster. As good as he is in his element, as good as he is overall, I just can't. I personally can't recommend spending 2.25k coins. Now if he was cheaper, like in the 1,000 range, then I would definitely recommend going for him. I think one of the previous team shops he was actually available for 1,025 coins or something, or maybe it was his pet, and I actually picked up a couple of him, or his pet. I don't remember who it was, but I guess that was just an error on Social Point's part, because he is back to costing 2.25k coins, which is a lot. We have Ingvar's pet, Shinaura's pet, Atum's pet, all for 1.25k coins. And between these 3 monsters, I'd say probably Shinaura's pet is the better of all 3 of them. It has a base speed of 3476 if I remember correctly, has a skill that can apply daze and blind, has a single possession skill, so I would definitely say she's the best of these 3 monsters. We also have Holter's pet for 1.15k coins, which is definitely on the cheaper end, but I don't think he's worth it. We have Nishin's pet, and I think most people would agree that this is the go-to pet. If you're going to buy any pet, be sure to buy Nishin's pet. So for 1.5k coins, this is one of the better values you're going to get. Darmith's pet for 1.15k coins. A lot of people don't like this monster at all. And if you look at his skills, he's extremely vanilla. He doesn't really offer much except strong attacks. So the majority of players can probably do without Diamond's pet. We have Alcis's pet, and he's another one that would be a must-have monster, especially because he can give an effect that makes all the enemies' healing skills actually hurt them. And nature monsters, they have a lot of healing skills. Light monsters do too, but especially in the nature category, since that's when you're probably going to use Alcis's pet. Like if he's fighting his general, the general has a skill that can heal a monster by 100% life. If Alcis's pet uses a skill that gives negative healing, and then the general does 100% healing, that essentially just kills the enemy monster. So Alcis's pet is fantastic. So I would say Nishan's pet is a must-have, and Alcis's pet is a must-have. In terms of the general's pets, like those two you definitely want. I'm surprised, is Thetis's pet? I guess that one was always available, right? I already talked about Thetis's pet. It's a really great monster, really strong attacker. There's a reason Thetis's pet costs 1.5k coins, as well as General Nishan's pet and Alcis's pet. It's because those monsters are the better ones. And then we have Ingvar's Bodyguard, Atum's Bodyguard, Darman's Bodyguard, Nishan's Bodyguard. Let me just say that Ingvar's Bodyguard and Atum's Bodyguard, I don't even really remember them. I know I did analysis videos, I know I did level 1 to 100 videos on them, but there's nothing really worthwhile about them. But then we move on to these two monsters, Darman's Bodyguard and Nishan's Bodyguard. And let me just say that Darman's Bodyguard for some reason costs 950 coins. That is ridiculous considering he's probably the best bodyguard, maybe next to General Nishan's Bodyguard. And the reason Nishan's Bodyguard is so good is because she has a team evasion skill, but for the longest time her evasion skill did not work. Like you can still take negative effects, or you can still take negative effects, which if you have evasion that shouldn't happen. You're supposed to block damage and negative effects. So I think they fixed it. I'm not completely sure, I haven't used my Nishan's Bodyguard. But Darman's Bodyguard, the reason he's so good is because he has a skill that makes the enemy weak to fire attacks. It's an AoE skill that makes them weak to fire attacks, but then it deals fire-based damage. So essentially I think it was like, it's a 72 damage skill, which is a 72 damage AoE skill, 72.5, something like that, something crazy like that. So he's incredibly strong. Just use him with a churn transfer monster, just deny the enemy, and then as soon as Darman's Bodyguard gets a turn in, the enemy team is as good as dead. He's crazy powerful. And really my only worry is if they ever fix that skill. It would suck if you purchase a lot of Darman's Bodyguard, and then Social Point finally decides, okay, let's make it so he doesn't make the enemy weak to fire attacks first, and then does fire damage. Let's fix it so where it's just a regular fire-based AoE, and then the enemy becomes weak to fire attacks. You know, like other monsters do it, like Tephra or Passion. So currently right now his damage output is incredibly overpowered, and I'm just hoping they don't fix it anytime soon. And so Darman's Bodyguard in my opinion is definitely the monster to get, and also Nishan's Bodyguard if they already fixed the AoE evasion. And we also have Shanawa's Bodyguard and Holcher's Bodyguard, and from what I can remember off the top of my head, I know Shanawa's Bodyguard had some potential to be good, and I know Holcher's Bodyguard is just insane in terms of healing. We're talking like a team 60% heal and like a life regeneration and 25% heal or 30% heal, something insane like that. And so he's definitely a great supportive monster. If you're having trouble staying alive in dungeons, or you're going up against strong monsters that almost kill your monsters, Holcher's Bodyguard might be the monster for you. He could provide that supportive advantage you need. So again, I'm just going to end by saying the monster you should get is the monster that you need the most. Everyone is different, everyone is at a different stage in the game. Some people are collectors, some people want to get better, some people just like to have fun. So just get whatever monster that's going to make you happy. But if you ask me, my #1 recommendation would have to be Darman's Bodyguard. The value you get for this monster for his price is ridiculous. And in fact, just to prove to you guys how much I think you should get him, well, I'm on my baby account, not on my main account. And on my main account, I bought enough Darman's Bodyguard to get him to level 115. But on my baby account, let me buy a couple of him just so you guys know how much I mean that Darman's Bodyguard, really, like, everyone should purchase Darman's Bodyguard. He's that great. So that's my #2, and let me get a #3 so I can at least rank him up to 105 on this account. Because again, he's just too good to not have. And actually I might even buy more to get him to level 110. But then the last thing I want to talk about, because it is here, is that we have the Team Wars chest. This is where you can use your war coin to buy a chest, and everyone's always wondering, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Well, let me do 2 purchases, and then keep in mind it's completely random. Maybe I'll get lucky, maybe I won't. But just so you guys can see like what I actually get in real time. So let's open up one chest, 350 coins. Is it worth it? Shanawa's Bodyguard cells, Uriel's Bodyguard cells, Energy Banner. So I only got cells. 5 and 5 wasn't worth it for me. Let's try one more time. And if I happen to get even one monster, technically it would pay for itself. But let's see if I even get a monster. 5 Shannara's pet cells, 5 Darmin's bodyguard cells, and a team life level 4 rune. And so I've spent 700 war coins and I still haven't gotten my values worth. So if I spend one more purchase, that's going to be 1050, and if I still don't get a monster by that third try, then it's not worth it. But see, the thing with chests is that you're always gambling, and when you gamble, if you don't get anything good, you kind of want to keep going until you get something good. That way you feel like all your old attempts weren't useless, they weren't for nothing, which is the case with me right now. I just spent 700 coins and I'm like, the next one has to be something good. It just has to be something good. Statistically, if I keep failing, eventually I'm going to win. But the problem is, when you look at all your failed attempts, it never really pays off. So I would recommend you completely stay away from the Team Wars chest. I'm going to open up one more just to maybe prove a point. But yeah, just stay away from Team Wars chest. There may be some lucky people out there that get a really good monster. Maybe they get a General Thetis in the chest, a General Tomb, an Ingvar, someone really great. But I think the majority of you are better off just purchasing a Darmin's bodyguard for 950 war coins as opposed to purchasing Team War chests, because they are just not great. Nation's bodyguard cells, a Tomb's bodyguard, and a Grief relic. Okay, so this was actually a good example. Let me go back to the team shop. I bought 3 chests that cost me 1050 war coins. If I take a look at a Tomb's bodyguard, that's exactly how much he cost. So for me, it wasn't, again, I wouldn't say it was worth it because the Tomb's bodyguard isn't that great, but at least I did get my value back. I paid essentially what I would have paid for a Tomb's bodyguard, and I got some added relics, and I got some cells. So at least I made it back for me, but that's not always going to happen for everyone. Sometimes you're going to waste all your coins and get nothing. It's like breeding events. Sometimes people spend like hundreds and hundreds of gems hoping to get one legendary monster, when really you could have just bought that legendary monster for 249 gems whenever it was available for sale. So it's ultimately up to you whether or not you want to spend, but personally I would just recommend get Darmin's bodyguard. Trust me when I say you're going to be a lot happier than spending on the chests and just not getting anything at all. And so with that said, that is going to conclude this video. I really hope it was helpful. I really hope I was able to help someone decide what monster to purchase or whether or not to get the chest. And if you do happen to get the chest, please let me know in the comments below, what did you get in the chest? I am really curious. And if you're a part of the Discord community, if you're a part of Monster Legends Coalition, make sure to let us know there what you got from your chest. That way we can decide whether or not we want to take the gamble ourselves. So with that being said, I'm Armor Gaming, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.